Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Over here. Russian officials have said they agree that arms control treaties should include other nuclear-armed nations, although these statements seem to have been aimed at the inclusion of U.S. allies like the UK and France. Ms. Scott-Muller, given Russia and China's fraught recent history and physical proximity, does Russia have a national security interest in drawing China into New START and other arms control treaties? And can we expect Russia to take an active role in bringing China to the table?
It's a good question, ma'am. They have taken China's part in recent periods while China has been holding everyone at arm's length in this administration and saying, we do not want to participate.
Right.
And the Russians have essentially said, well, you hear what China says, they don't want to participate. So up to this point, they have not in any way tried to press China to come to the negotiating table. I do think, just as you say, that there are certain incentives on the Russian side for them to help get the Chinese into a process. The Chinese have never had to negotiate on limits or reductions of any kind. And in this sphere. So I can see the rationale there, but at the moment they have not been pressing them.
Admiral Mullen, has the United States nuclear force posture been based on the treaty's extension and certainty that it provides? And if so, how would a failure to extend New START impact the military's strategic stability planning, how much you've affected existing nuclear modernization plans and such?
I would, first of all, I literally don't have the details because I'm not on the inside anymore, but my expectation would be that we've been very much in compliance, first of all. Secondly, and it's come up a couple times, I think it's really important to make sure that we have the resources dedicated to the upgrading of our and modernizing of our industry, of our nuclear arsenal, if you will. I really don't know where that stands. That was actually negotiated as a part of the ratification process, so it's not cemented into the treaty itself, and it was a commitment on both sides to provide the resources. And so committing to that would put us in a position, and I think as Ms. Gottmuller has stated, put us in a position, and the other witnesses, to actually move ahead if this thing just, if this stopped. I don't advocate for that because I think there are lots of downsides associated with that. So I think we're fully in compliance. We are as ready as we are required to be, and I wouldn't be overly concerned about that. If I were concerned about one thing, it'd be where we stand in the modernization and upgrade.
Yes. That, I'm just wondering how it does affect our existing nuclear modernization plans.
You mean if we walk from this?
Yes.
I think, I mean, it's quite frankly going to depend on the priority for the administration. It's a lot of money. I think my recollection was back in 2010, the number was about $5 billion that we needed to put into it, to commit to in the FIDP at that particular point in time. So it's billions. How much of it's, and I know we have invested a lot, it would be based on the status and the priorities for the administration to upgrade and continue to commit resources to the entirety of the nuclear capability.
Thank you, Admiral Mullen. Mr. Myers, do you believe there are any gaps in the verification regime? And if so, what can we do to improve them as part of the talks for an extension?
Well, thank you for the question. It's a hard question to answer because you don't know what you don't know. But the level of confidence here in the United States on our ability to detect non-compliance on the Russian side is very, very high. That's number one. Number two, over the life of the New START treaty, we have no evidence of cheating on their part. Three, and to me this is the most important, the individuals charged with carrying out the verification missions were also involved in the drafting of the verification procedures and the language. I commend Undersecretary Gadamoller at the time and Chairman Mull at the time for having the DTRA inspectors at the table with them, because it wasn't an issue of something's negotiated and it's delivered to the inspectors and said, now go do it. They were
Verifiers were there at the table during.
Absolutely. So at the end of the day, treaties are compromises. You never get everything you want. But I will tell you, having talked and walked and watched these individuals do their job and exercise, they were very confident.
Great, thank you. My time's expired, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.